I'm going to do a short video here just outlining all the food that I'm bringing on my upcoming 12-day canoe trip to Algonquin Park with my son Brendan. So I realize this looks like an enormous mountain of food, and the fact of the matter is it is actually more than I typically would normally bring. But Brendan is still small, he's only 10. And because of that, he can't carry a full load, which means we will not be able to single carry these portages. We will be double carrying. So because we're double carrying, I'm bringing a few more luxuries and probably a little more food than I normally would bring. Everything here for the entire 12 days will fit into this 60-liter canoe barrel. I have already checked. Weight-wise, I'm probably going to be at about 58 pounds, and that'll be my second load. When I walk back on the trail, that's what I'm going to be carrying. So we'll start with the dinners. A lot of this stuff I've dehydrated myself at home in my dehydrator. Honestly, it's far cheaper and way tastier than buying commercial freeze-dried products. At least in my mind. Plus, it's kind of a fun winter project and thing to do when you're preparing for these trips. So, starting with dinner, we're going to be eating a lot of fish. So I have 3 Nalgene containers of clarified butter. Now, this is not liquid. I just pulled it out of the fridge. Clarified butter is basically, it's just a process where you melt the butter down, remove all the butter fat and milk solids, and it lasts a lot longer in the bush. It also has a higher smoke point, so when you're frying over an open fire, it won't burn like normal butter will. So I also have a small Nalgene with some peanut oil. It's kind of just a backup, and it will be used to make popcorn as well, which is back there. So along with the butter for the fish, I have a bag of flour to coat the fish with. I do have some spices over there, salt and pepper, lemon pepper, other things to spice the fish with. But looking at the entrees, our dinner entrees, here I have 2. These 2 here are just really hearty, large spaghetti with meat sauce. So that's, you know, like pasta noodles. It's like a thick and zesty tomato sauce and a lot of ground beef in there. And I know when that's rehydrated, it's going to be fantastic. These are Mylar bags inside the Ziploc bags, so you can buy these dirt cheap. I bought them on Amazon for next to nothing. So once the dehydration process is completed, they go into these Mylar bags with an oxygen tab, and they're sealed, which you can see there, with a straight iron, like for hair. I've been borrowing my daughter's straight iron, but it's a super easy process. You just clamp it on there, it seals it shut. Little oxy tab in there removes whatever oxygen is left in the bag, and it will last for a long time. I don't really need to put all of these things in separate Ziplocs, but I do, just because. So anyway, 2 meals of spaghetti with meat sauce. Here I have 4 packages of, it's basically spiced ground beef with peas and carrots and corn, and this will be used to make shepherd's pie. So once the ground beef is rehydrated, which ground beef rehydrates fantastically well, that will be topped off with mashed potatoes. So I got some instant mashed potatoes here. They're pretty good as is, but I always bring a little bit of butter powder and sour cream powder to add to the mashed potatoes, and it just makes it just a little bit richer and a little creamier. And to finish off those shepherd's pie meals, I brought a bunch of packs of this brown gravy. So Like I said, really good hearty meal. Here I have some pasta Alfredo, so that's homemade Alfredo sauce. I got 2 of those with pasta. To add to that, I have chicken. Chicken, for what it's worth, is one of the things that is sometimes somewhat difficult to dehydrate. So the one thing I've learned through trial and error, the canned chicken, for whatever reason, dehydrates really well. So each one of these little pouches has, I think, 3 cans of chicken. So that'll be added to the pasta Alfredo. Here we have this was a very large pot of beef stroganoff. I tested it first before I actually tested all of these meals before I brought them with me, just to make sure they didn't taste horrible. This one tasted particularly good. So besides that, I got a bunch of side dishes. They'll be eaten with fish, most likely. This is nothing more than instant stuffing, chicken flavored stuffing from the grocery store. Just add boiling water and it's super light. So to eat with that, just in case we feel we want it. Also in there I have some chicken gravy, which will be added to that. And the final thing I have here for entrees is 4 cans of beans. Beans, much like ground beef, are one of the things that dehydrate amazingly well. So I have 2 cans of maple beans and 2 cans of honey beans. And the only thing I could add to that is when you choose beans, there's a million different beans in the supermarket. Just choose one. If you're going to dehydrate them, choose one that has a very low fat content. The fat is where you run into issues when you're dehydrating things. These have almost no fat, and I can tell you right now, they weigh nothing. It's like lighter than air. When I rehydrate these beans, they're going to be just like they came out of the can. Okay, as far as drinks go, I am a bit of a coffee fiend. Normally, I will bring my coffee press and fresh ground coffee, but for canoe trips, I use this Via instant coffee from Starbucks. So I hate to be plugging Starbucks, but you know what? This stuff is by far the best instant coffee on the market. It tastes like fresh brewed. It's more expensive than gold, but you know, for the once a year or whatever I do these trips, that's what I bring. Hot chocolate for Brendan. Coffee cream. This isn't just standard coffee cream for what it's worth. This is vanilla caramel, sugar-free, and chocolate flavored Coffee Mate, also sugar-free. This stuff is impossible to find in the grocery store. I had to order it. Well worth it though, at least for me. So as far as drink crystals go, this is mostly iced tea. There's a few other odds and ends. This is Crystal Light. There's enough for the entire 12 days here. I prefer Crystal Light for the bulk of my drink crystals because it weighs nothing. There's no sugar in that. So one of those packages will do like 1.5 liters of water. I did, however, bring 2 fairly large Ziplocs with orange Gatorade. I have no doubt that I'm going to be cramping up on this trip, so I need something with some electrolytes in it, and it also mixes better with rum, and Brendan likes it. So beyond that, we have chicken noodle cup of soup. Now we'll migrate over here to have a look at the breakfast stuff. So here I have for each morning I have oatmeal, and this is like, I put it together myself just with quick oats, chopped walnuts, slivered almonds, a little bit of brown sugar, some cinnamon. It's just really, really good, way better than the store-bought oatmeal. And a really good hearty breakfast. So here we have bacon. There's one package of, if you've ever seen it in the grocery store, and I'm assuming most people have, the pre-cooked bacon. It's also more expensive than the norm, but you know what? For these kind of trips, it's great. It doesn't go bad. I mean, you throw it in the pan for 30 seconds and it's done, and it's good, really good. Here I have one little Ziploc bag of bannock for each day. A bannock is just simply flour, a little bit of baking powder, a little bit of salt. There's enough here. It'll make a fairly large portion, more than big enough for 2 people. So this is just plain. This is my bag of spices. In my bag of spices I have a little bit of brown sugar. There's some raisins in there. What else do I have? There's some cinnamon. So if I want to add that to the bannock for breakfast, that's what we'll do. I tried it here at home and Brendan loved it. Also have some salt and pepper and garlic powder. So on the nights that we have pasta, I will be making sort of a garlic bread version of the bannock, which is also very, very good. And the last breakfast item, I have instant pancake mix, a small bottle of maple syrup. So for snacks, again, this is all portioned out for each day. This is homemade beef jerky. One package for each day for both of us. There's a lot of sort of treats and candies here. You know what? Bren likes it. We're there for 12 days. It's a good high energy snack, and a little bit of chocolate is nice. But anyway, I have a couple of bags of M&Ms, some other assorted chocolates. I don't know, Bren's mom bought this, Skittles and sour something, or I don't know what that is. But anyway, it'll keep them happy. A big bag of trail mix. As I mentioned earlier, popcorn, which we can make in the pot with the peanut oil. And then the last thing on the list is Cliff Bars. So 2 per day per person. I have it all portioned out in these Ziploc bags. And that's what we're going to eat when we're on the trail, portaging. We'll basically have a bag of Cliff Bars, the beef jerky, and probably a little bit of that trail mix. So that's about it. That's it. 12 days in Algonquin Park coming up.